Hello everyone, my name is Vishal Sharma. I own a nightclub in Nadi, in Matintar. I just started about a year ago. My question is, I'm leasing out that property and my landlord has given me 50% discount on the rent. But it's been 4 months now, everything is shut down. So my question is, I'm still paying the rent. Any idea or when the nightclubs will open?
It's a very good question. Obviously, nightclubs generate a lot of revenue for us. But of course, the health imperatives take precedence over revenue generation. There is we have the Fijian COVID-19 Economic Recovery Framework. I hope you've got a copy of it. It's available on the website. And that has a number of sections within it. It addresses how do, for example, different businesses operate, how they should operate. There's section 14 that relates to what we call community-based areas. So for example, places of worship, nightclubs, pubs, weddings, funerals, conferences, etc. So the Ministry of Health team, and together with there's the team that consists of the Permanent Secretary for Health, the Permanent Secretary for Economy, and the Permanent Secretary for Commerce, Trade and Tourism, that has the overview of that economic recovery framework. And as you know, that initially we had different stages, and when our Prime Minister announced that, you know how we eased up certain things. So about having 100 people. I'm going to the Battle of Giants now at 5:30. I have to be there. Now it's 50% of the stadium can be filled up. In the same way, with the places of worship, nightclub is one of the few businesses that currently are closed. So those things constantly get reviewed. So once it gets reviewed, you'll hear about it. There are of course certain risks around it. As you know, that in certain countries, certain places of worship or nightclubs have been areas where there has been a community outbreak. Nightclubs is very hard to control people after a few drinks. The proximity, of course, gets much closer. Those sorts of things do happen. So we have to be able to manage that. And so this team will be looking at it. So we don't want to preempt anything when the team comes up with the assessment. And sometimes, businesses also need to change how they, need to adapt to the new environment. In the same way that places of worship now have distancing, within that environment, conferences or how we stand, or queue up. There may be certain requirements that may be required of your type of business. So without trying to preempt anything, that's the assessment that team takes out, and I'm sure once they come up with something, they'll make those announcements. They'll also consult those types of businesses also. Okay.
So for now, I'm paying half the rent now. So if it's not open till the end of the year, so basically I'm losing money. I've talked to my landlord, but he's not. He's giving me 50% discount, not more than that.
The discount he's giving you, he can actually claim. There's a rebate we're giving them. So we made an announcement in the COVID-19 budget response that any businesses for commercial properties, if they give a discount, they can actually claim it as tax deduction. So we provide the incentive for them. So he can even reduce your rent even further if he wants to. The question, though, I also have for landlords is that if they are going to let go of certain businesses because they're not getting the right rent, who else will replace the existing tenant? So they need to understand that also. In the same way that there are certain rental properties for residential purposes also. A lot of people, FCCC, we've sent some issues to them, although they don't necessarily have the legislative teeth regarding that. We've been able to mitigate between the two parties. And people do realize, hang on, if I boot this person out, there's nobody there to take up the rent at that rental cost in any case. So trying to impress upon him, tell him that he's got a tax deduction, and he can call Fazrul on that number and he'll tell him exactly all about it. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, sir.